Although many agents take a significant amount of time to master, the reality of the situation is that some abilities are misused much more than others. These mistakes, although hard to notice, can sometimes cause loss of duels, which ultimately can cost you to lose easy rounds. In order to help you avoid the most common mistakes in this area, we have composed an easy to understand list that will instantly better your gameplay. Hello, my name is Renox, and today I'll be your guide leading you through the most common ability-based mistakes and, more importantly, how to fix them. Unlike many other tips and tricks, the information we will be providing to you today isn't situational. In most cases, you will be able to avoid the situations we will introduce in this video consistently, bettering your ability to understand and win duels throughout the entirety of the game. Before introducing our first tip, let's go over our question of the day. Today's question is surely an interesting one. Do you think Riot should introduce more ranked modes? More specifically, would you like to see a competitive deathmatch or spike rush? Personally, I think that if these modes were added into the game, although there would definitely be some players who would take it seriously, it would only really impact hardcore players to gain more environment or enjoyment from the game. For this reason alone, I think that it would be a great addition. What do you think though? Do you think that the addition of alternative gaming modes would take away from the initial competitive queue, or do you think that maybe it would only add to the game? Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll be sure to read as many as we can. With that being said, let's get straight into the most common misused abilities throughout the game. The first ability we will be discussing today is Brimstone's STIM beacon. This ability, very commonly misused, is often disregarded by lower level players. Because of this, we decided to introduce it first and enable those of you who rarely use STIM beacon to harness its power. When this ability is used in-game, it's most commonly utilized at a time in which players aren't being pushed. Rather than using it as a reaction ability to escape sticky situations, they use it when they think they are about to encounter a fight, often causing them to waste their ability if the prediction was incorrect. Instead, what you should do is put the ability down in order to hold an angle that you would otherwise have to give up. For instance, if you're forced to move back from an angle, place the STIM beacon down and hold the same angle slightly wider. This allows you to have a significant advantage when the enemy inevitably enters your line of sight, potentially allowing for you to get a few free game-changing kills. Because Cypher's main strengths are based off his utility, using abilities incorrectly can significantly lower your chances of performing well, which is why we chose to explain two common mistakes players make while playing him. Before getting ahead of ourselves, let's discuss Cypher's TRAPWIRE. What we often notice players do, on defense especially, is place the wires in the same area every round. This makes Cypher very predictable. Instead, although being aware of setups is good, you should focus on situational tripwires much more than you likely are. For instance, if you place one wire in main and keep the other one in your arsenal, you might be able to double down in main in order to practically ensure fooling the enemy if they come into main. One thing you shouldn't do, however, is keep both wires once the round starts. There is a niche balance that must be kept in order to ensure maximum effectiveness. The next portion of Cypher's kit that we are going to be looking over is actually his ultimate. What lower level players often do is utilize this ultimate when getting a kill in any area. What you should do ideally, especially on attack, is hold this ultimate until you get a kill in mid. This is because in all maps, having an advantage in the middle of the map allows you to choose either site without the enemy being able to rotate. If you utilize your ultimate after getting a kill in mid, you will be able to see which site is being held by a lower number of players, allowing you to push onto that site very quickly. If you choose to use this ultimate in any other area, players will already often be in the process of rotating, giving you minimal value of finding out their actual location. The next ability, and also another ultimate, will be surrounded by the character Raze. Her Showstopper is often mistakenly utilized to enter a site. When used this way, enemies will be able to hide behind an object very easily, making the ultimate pretty much a gamble. What you should do in order to nullify this problem is use the ultimate as a reaction ability. For instance, if you see an enemy and force them off an angle by pushing them or using another ability such as paint shells, you can utilize your ultimate to ensure an easy kill when you inevitably enter a duel. Furthermore, if you combine this ultimate with her blast pack, Raze can very easily win fights. By practically ensuring a kill, Raze's ult is very dangerous if used properly, easily altering the outcome of potentially crucial rounds. This next ability is one that we see misused on a very wide spectrum of ranks, reaching as high as Plat to Diamond level. The ability that we're talking about is Omen's Shrouded Step. This ability, intended to gain uncommon positions in order to gain an edge over the enemy, often just does the opposite if used incorrectly. Many players, using Shrouded Step without knowledge of the enemy's location, give away their position through the means of the sound being produced by the ability. In order to better your use of Shrouded Step, you should learn its sound radius. Once you complete this crucial step, you will know what part of the site you'll be able to teleport into without the enemy hearing you. Furthermore, if you play Omen without this knowledge, you can also use the ability before the round starts. Although this is slightly less effective, it is still much better than allowing the enemy to know your position as they are pushing in. Next up, following Shrouded step, Reyna's Dismiss is also used in a way that can easily get her killed if used incorrectly. What many players lean towards doing is simply using the ability if they are at full health. Although this may seem logical, it isn't all that correct. The only instance in which Dismiss should be utilized is when in position to easily retreat. If you've killed an enemy near an angle and your position is already compromised, using Dismiss will allow you to quickly peek around the corner and become aware of the enemy's location without putting yourself at risk of dying. Ultimately, by doing this, you will significantly increase the chances of being successful in your push due to the simple fact that you will know the general area the enemy will be holding from. The next ability, and the final ultimate that we will be discussing in this video, is Killjoy's Lockdown. This ultimate, although having significant potential to turn around seemingly lost rounds, is often used in a manner that limits its effectiveness. What many players do much too often is use the ability when taking sight and wait until its activation before pushing in. In order to maximize potential kills, the ideal method of utilizing this ability is by pushing in roughly 3 to 4 seconds before the countdown on this ultimate finishes. Although this may seem like a minimal change, it does give you a much longer period to take sight if the enemies have pushed back behind the barrier in which they will be stunned. Because of this, you will be able to hold angles on sight and force the enemies to come to you. The ideal situation will be likely to allow you to win a round with much ease. For instance, if using Lockdown when pushing B main on Ascent, players holding in the CT area will more than likely be pushed back when the timer reaches near 0. By pushing before the ultimate activates, you will be able to clear out the players on site without having to worry about other enemies, limiting the amount of opposition you will face before planting the spike. Moving forward from the Lockdown ultimate, let's discuss Sage's Healing Orb. Although this may seem like a very simple ability, a lack of knowledge regarding its usage often causes arguments and tilt throughout games. What many players don't know, although they are able to heal both themselves and allies, choosing yourself isn't necessarily a selfish act. Instead, this is often the smartest option. While the orb is on cooldown, healing yourself may allow you to survive long enough for this cooldown to reset. On the contrary, however, healing your ally may cause you to die while the ability is on cooldown, lowering your effectiveness significantly. If you aren't a Sage player, this knowledge is also crucial for you. Rather than feeling angry at the fact that Sage might have chosen to heal herself over you, instead play around this often beneficial choice. By being passive and waiting for the cooldown to reset, you may have saved not only yourself, but also your Sage, allowing for a potentially more positive outcome to the round. Following the Healing Orb is Breach's Aftershock. This ability, often used with the intent to kill, has limited use in the hands of players who use it mistakenly. Rather than trying to kill an enemy with your Aftershock, an instance that only occurs very rarely, you should use it in an attempt to get enemies to move locations. For instance, when pushing Hookah from mid on the map Bind, you can utilize Aftershock to force enemies out the back of sight, allowing for an easy kill as the enemy runs out of position. By using the ability in this manner, you will notice the consistency of its effectiveness increase significantly. Furthermore, if you can get the assistance of your teammates, you can force enemies out of many more positions where allies can be set up to secure the kill, a combo that can get you many kills as games run their course. The final ability that we will be going over today is none other than Sova's Owl Drone. This ability is often used correctly on attack, yet misused on defense. Many people, often unknowingly of the proper way to utilize the Owl Drone on defense, simply ignore it even if they don't mean to. In order to maximize its effectiveness, however, it is crucial to learn how to use the ability in all situations. For proper usage on defense, you will need to use the Owl Drone in an attempt to stop pushes. In order to do this, you will need to wait until hearing the enemy. Afterwards, if choosing not to utilize one of your arrows, you can use the Owl Drone as an attempt to gain sight of the enemy, allowing your teammates to rotate very early if they need to. If you're the one rotating, however, you can use Owl Drone as a way to scout out sight before pushing in, allowing you to find out if at least one of the enemy's positions before being forced to enter. If you find yourself unable to improve at a certain agent, we deeply recommend that you visit ProGuides.com. There, our pros can help you learn crucial information about any agent. Furthermore, because the assistance that will be provided to you is 100% catered to your personal needs, you will feel knowledgeable regarding the areas that you need to improve in, a crucial step towards becoming the best player that you can be. For the most seamless experience, we hope that you look into our VOD review system. If choosing this path, in only 24 hours after submitting a video showcasing your gameplay, our pros will provide you with a fully developed analysis of your game, allowing you to understand how and in what areas you should strive to improve. Ultimately, this will also allow you to improve at rates unlike ever before. So rather than wasting your time playing ranked, head on over to ProGuides.com for the ranked knowledge you strive to acquire. With that said, we hope that the information in this video helped you realize some mistakes that you could be making in your games. If you find yourself misusing any of these abilities, make sure to implement the tips that we provided in order to ensure that your kit is being used to its greatest potential. Furthermore, if you learned something today about agents that you may not be particularly fond of playing, that knowledge could really benefit you in the long run. You can use information such as listening for Raze's ult so that you can hide from it and force the enemies to waste their ult. With nothing else to say, we wish that you all have great luck in your games, and with that, stay safe. See you all in our next video.